Hi, Josh Carr here, working on another one of my challenge cases. This one is Black and Green LLC. It's from my PDF, and I want to, take a swing at it. So in this case, it looks like we're basically just buying an underperforming apartment complex, and we're doing it all equity at the beginning, and then we're refining out once we've created some value at the end of year two. That seems to be what they're basically proposing. Not the most realistic model, but whatever, that's what it's doing. And then it also has a partnership model here saying there's going to be some equity and we're going to split some upside. And looks like the end goal is really just get some returns for the partners and rate of return and equity multiple. Okay, that's it. I mean, this is not that hard, I guess, but let's give it a swing. Let's start getting some of those inputs in because, you got to start with the assumptions, right? So purchase price is going to be 110 million. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. The net leasable area, the net rentable area is going to be 200,000 feet. They do put in the gross square footage, but considering that it looks like we're just doing a lease-up job and we're not doing construction and there's nothing on a per foot basis for the cost of the building, we don't need gross. We can just use rentable, and that's fine. The current occupancy is 60%. Okay. OpEx is going to be $2 million. We have rent growth and expense growth both 3%. So I'm just going to do growth at 3%. We could have separate ones, but in this case, I'll just do one growth. Well, no, you know what? I'll break them out. Let me do rent growth and let's do expense growth because half the time you do this, someone then wants to use different rates for them and see how fast rents grow. You get the idea. The lease up will be, the leasing velocity will be 5 units per month. Now, it doesn't say, it's weird. It says here that it's 200 units and it's 1,000 feet. Okay, so that's fine. So then we've got, units is total of 200. So therefore, obviously, it's going to be 1,000 feet per unit. Okay, fine. That's easy enough. Let me just do unit size just because I can. Square feet. Okay. The rents are gonna be $4 a month. Rents for 4 per square foot per month. And we're gonna have a vacancy rate of 5%. Cool. Okay, so let's build this thing. This isn't that bad. So basically all we're going to do is we're just going to have an occupancy schedule which will show that we'll lease it up over time and it'll go from there. So if the current occupancy is 60%, then the occupied units will be 200 units times 60%, right? So that's 120 units. Okay, so I'm just going to have a thing that says occupied units, occupied square footage, right? Because that's going to drive everything. So at the beginning, it's going to be, and this will be month, right? And it looks like it's going to be like a 2-year lease up because we're refining it at the end of year 2. So, okay. And I think they said, the document said we're going to run out to like year 10. Okay, so if we're running out to year 10, what I got to do then is go out to month 132 because usually you're capping year 11's NOI, right? That's typical for these sorts of things. So, yep, okay. And then I can just make this not fractional because it's weird when it's, yeah, no, or not decimal, I mean. So the occupied units at the beginning, occupied units at the beginning is going to be 120, right? Fine. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 5 units per month. I believe that was 5 units per month, right? 5 per month. Okay. So what I'm going to just do is do like the world's dumbest bit of math. I'm just going to say if, you see, I could just do this plus that, and that would work, but obviously at some point it would get out of control and it would be too many units. And it would go beyond 200 units. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little if statement that says, if that is collectively greater than 200 units, then 200 units. Otherwise, lease it up, right? Cool. So I take that, I drag that across, and I make it not a decimal, and then as you can see, it leases it up to 200 units in month 16, and we're good. Okay, occupied square footage is going to be that times whatever the 1,000 feet is. Oh, okay. So that's, again, to all the way out here. And I got to actually drag this thing out. Groovy. Which means we have rent and we also need some growth. Okay. I didn't put in any growth. Let's put in rent growth. And I'm going to have that kick in on month 13's rents. So that's that. And then what I'm going to do is month 25 is going to be equal to that. And then I'm going to take that and I'll do a drag copy just to bring that across. So basically every 12 months, it'll kick in. Cool. So like beginning of year 11, it kicks in. You get the idea. Okay. Fine. So now we've at least built the unit, the lease up schedule. Now we got to do rents. And it's going to be 3% per year going up, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So the rent is $4, but it's also going to be growing over time, right? So at the beginning, it's going to be month 1. It's going to be $4, and then the first 12 months are all going to be the same, and then here it will be the $4 times 1 plus the rate of growth, so it goes to $412, and then the next 11 months are like that. And then if you think about it, once you've done that year, you can then just take that and drag copy that across, right? Because that's always going to, pardon me, sorry about that. That's always going to be adjusted by that 3%. So if I take this and I do a drag copy, oopsie, I over-dragged. If I do a drag copy, there she is, right? Every 12 months, it's going up by 3%. Every 12 months by 3%, you get the idea. Okay, that's my rent. So then my gross potential, or I'll just call it my gross potential rent is going to be the $4 times the 125,000 feet. The vacancy is going to be this times that times -1, and then the effective gross revenue will be this plus that. Groovy. Okay, great. So then I take this, I bring this across. Oopsie, again, I keep over dragging. Can't stand the over drag. Okay, so that's my effective gross revenue. You'll notice, by the way, I'm just taking 5% off the top. I do sometimes see people say, don't take 5% off until you're fully leased. There's credit loss, there's vacancy. Credit loss is you take whatever you have, you burn a percentage. Vacancy should be affected by lease up. In this case, I'm just taking 5% off the top. That would be a broader discussion we could get into, which I'm not going to bother on this first simple attempt. Nonetheless, I've got my effective gross revenue, and well, that's a good place to start. So good. So that gets us to at least gross revenue in the beginning of the setup. Let's take a break here and say thank you for joining me. And until I see you again, keep building better models.